Yes, as I recall in the book, you saw a rather tall shadow lurking behind the camera and thought that must be...
I knew his shadow. Since I had never missed a film, I knew. And I was standing there in sort of sordid underwear doing a test for his film, and I had imagined I would be swaying towards him in a slanky evening dress. None of that.
Did this adoration make it impossible for you to act with him at first, or was...
First 2 days, I just gaped, because he was exactly as I imagined, and not at all disappointing. He was just exactly the man that you saw on the screen. He was in private life. Wonderful combination there. Relaxed, easy, a man who never pretended. And then we became great friends. And he used to tell me about his life. And I could never listen enough, because in my life, as a refugee, in my mind, every night I'd been telling him what happened during the day. He became my lodestar. At night I would say, now listen, Gary, today so-and-so, see? So then years later, he would be sitting in my dressing room, telling me his story. It was only fair, I thought. Now we know each other's story.
Could he have acted on the stage?
Never.
No.
Never.
Why is that? Some film stars do.
He would say this himself. It's a cinch, kid. He used to say.
It's a cinch?
It's a cinch, kid. All he learned was to hit the mark marvelously and relax and think a little. And that is a great talent.
That sounds so easy that it sounds like anybody could do it, and it's...
Most people before, when that little red light goes up, shrivel.
You've said that it's not only a different technique, but I think an opposite technique, the stage and the camera. Can you elaborate on that a little bit or explain?
Well, you see, the only thing to do in front of a camera is not project, but rely on whatever little bubble there is in you, as Rex used to put it. And on the stage, you have to project and must then make it look as if you weren't. I would say of the two that stage acting, of course, is infinitely the more difficult.
Oh, yes, sure. For some reason, there are people who are brilliant for a few moments, and that's it. And that makes a film actor, apparently, in some... Yeah. Rex Harrison is the man we're referring to. I think we've alluded to him without actually mentioning him by name up until now.
That's
is that possible? Yeah, when you said your former husband. Have you ever run across anybody who was impossible to act with, who made it so hard for you that you couldn't... work with them?
I think that on the whole, actors are generous, and the bigger they are, the easier they are to get on with. I've had one film director with whom I had great difficulties. Great director.
Let's see. Would it be Fritz Lang? You're not the only one, apparently. What,
Well, he used rather strong and martial and aggressive language, and I am one of those people who haven't got a marvelous repartee. I could think of it afterwards in the car driving home. I demolished him in the car driving home. But
by the next day it was too late to use those lines.
Yes, exactly. No, acting, neither women nor men, I think without exception, have I ever found a difficult person. I think, yes. I think I would give a minor mark to Christopher Plummer.
Really?
I name a name. He wasn't that bad, but he was not a giving partner. And usually,
a generous actor.
Yeah. But mostly they're very generous. The bigger they are. Cooper or Gable or in France or Noel Coward or Laurence Olivier, they hand you your cues, and all you have to do is to take.
You miss Coward, I gather, from we're talking about him. He was quite a good friend of yours, and people who knew him had a very hard time adjusting to his being dead.
He was so few people are a loss between the initial, oh my goodness, is he dead, is she dead? Very few people are. Years afterwards, one still finds there's a warmth gone out of your life. Yeah. Joy gone out of your life, and that's what Noel Coward was for so many people. And if you were lucky enough to be his friend, and he gave something of himself.
But that's a surprising thing to me in your book, is that we all know of his great wit and his great talent and so on, and how facile he was and how funny he was in every situation. But in the book, there's a scene in which you're in a very difficult emotional marital problem, and Coward, who might have been considered a rather brittle, perhaps cold man, with all that wit and facade and so on, and homosexual besides, seemed to give you very frank, good, experienced, wise, worldly advice.
Did
you see it that way?
Exactly. He was a marvelous friend because he was so devastatingly honest. He loathed cant. He loathed just to simply sympathize. He dismissed that. If you were his friend, then you had to stand up to his criticism and his wonderful, wise, commonsensical approach to life. It didn't matter a damn that he was homosexual. He was very fond of women. He was tender and affectionate with women. And it was one of the most precious possessions of my life that he was friendly. I remember I came to him first when my first marriage was broken up because I was an old-fashioned girl and thought one husband for the rest of my life. Couldn't adjust to the fact that it should come to an end. And I remember him saying, Rex is now how old? And I said 48. And he said, can you hold out another 12 years? I said, no. I couldn't hold on another 12 days. I thought I'd burst. Why should I hold on another 12 years? He said, because when he's 60, you'll have no more trouble.
He'll be tired then?
He'll be tired, yes.
Has that held true? I haven't seen Mr. Harrison lately, but he does. I don't know if he's tired or not.
I haven't...
Or is he 60 yet?
I think he's even over 60, but I think Noel might have made a mistake in his case. Even the master was fallible.
One of the few. You once asked Noel Coward a question that may have been on everyone's mind and is never answered in any of the books about him, which was, did you ever go to bed with a woman? Now, did that take nerve to ask him that question, or were you, because you were old friends?
No. I think even somebody who wasn't an intimate friend could have asked him. Mm-hmm. Anyway, I always wanted to know, because I saw that quite a few females that I knew and that you know tried their damnedest to seduce him. You know, that's a strange ambition many women have.
Well, he was not only attractive, but it would be a flower in their...
Great feather in their cap.
Feather in their cap.
Yeah. I don't have that ambition. And he used to say, I'm so grateful to my 2 German cows. You know who the other German cow is? Marlene. And I'm one German cow. None of you have ever tried to seduce me. It never occurred to me in a million years. So I could ask him.
But you couldn't help asking him that question.
I had to know. Yeah. And he said, I've never strayed from the path of virtue. And it was a lie.
Path of virtue. I thought Gertrude Lawrence had a go at him at one point. And
yes, well, then they were children. They were angels in the pantomime, and that frightened him to death, apparently. But
it was a lie, you say?
Yes. You know, the man who wrote that marvelous biography, Cole Leslie, who was his companion, and first his secretary and then his companion, said to me, you know, Lil, you made a mistake there in your book, because he lied to you. He did have an affair once, and I should know, he said, because I was with him, and he had an affair with somebody for the minor actress for 5 days, and he had a lot of fun.
But he didn't want to spoil his record by telling you.
No. It disturbed his image.